everyone, today's lesson is lesson 105, compound average and rate problems. So we're going to solve problems that include more than one average or rate. So here Blanca bought 200 shares of XYZ stock at an average price of $54 per share. Later she bought 100 more shares at $60 per share. What was the average price per share Blanca paid for all 300 shares of XYZ? So she purchased different quantities of stock at different prices. So I cannot simply find the average of 54 and 60. Instead, we're going to find the amount Blanca paid for all the shares and divide by the total number of shares. So she got 200 shares at $54 a share. So we're going to do 200 times $54, which equals $10,800. Plus, she got 100 shares at $60. So we're going to do 100 times 60, which equals 6,000. So I'm going to add those all together. So we have 300 shares at a certain amount equals 16,800. So the 300 shares cost that $16,800 amount. So we're going to figure out how much the average cost of each share. We're going to divide each side by 300. Okay. So 16,800 divided by 300 equals $56. So the average cost of all the shares combined is $56. Okay. On this next one it says after 3 games of bowling, Gabe's average score was 88. What score does Gabe need to average in his next 2 games to raise his average to 90? So although we don't know the specific scores in Gabe's first 3 games, we do know that the total number of pins has to be 88 times the 3 games that he did. So 88 times 3 is 264. So he knocked down a total number of 264 pins over the 3 games. So to have a 5-game average of 90, I would times 5 by 90 to get 450 pins. To have my average be 90, he has to knock down a total of 450 pins. So to figure out how many more pins he has to knock down, we're going to take 450 and subtract it from 264, which gives me 186. Okay, so he's got 2 games left to get a total of 186 points, which means I need to take that 186 and divide it by the 2 games that are left. 186 divided by 2 is 93. So he needs to average 93 points per game to raise his average score up to 90. Okay. All right. On this one's a rate problem, but we can solve it like an average problem. So it says, because of the heavy traffic, the 120-mile trip to San Diego took 3 hours. The traffic was lighter on the return trip, which took 2 hours. Find the average speed for each trip and for the round trip. So the average trip is going to be the 120 miles divided by how many hours it took, which was 3 hours. So 120 miles divided by 3 is 40 miles per hour for the trip out. So on the return trip, it was 120 miles still, but it only took 2 hours. So that means that the person was going about 60 miles per hour. So to find the average speed for the round trip, we have to take the 120 miles plus 120 miles, because that's there and back, and do 3 hours plus 2 hours. So I end up with 240 miles over 5 hours, which then when I divide it, I end up with 48 miles per hour. So for the round trip average, she went about 48 miles per hour. Okay, and that's it for this lesson. Thanks for watching.